What's good? Lucky Lefty Podcast. Onora Boys in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. Whew. Audio edibles each and every day, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell, the thumbs up, smash it for us. We appreciate it. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Don't forget, patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Man, we're building an incredible team to give you great content, man. Cam McDaniel with Chemistry. The OGs with Oscar McBride and the rest of the former Notre Dame players. Reverse Spin with myself and Malik and in Three's Company, what I got Ken Gibbs, only exclusively over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. And all of our Lucky Lefty Network is available right there on our YouTube page. You go to our YouTube page and the Lucky Lefty merchandise store is right there.
It's right there. It's right there.
Happy Valentine's Day, my brother.
Same to you and all the people out there, making it work. Big day for some people. Some people got to plan ahead.
You got any plans? If you're still trying to make reservations,
it's over. Look, especially in LA. The thing about LA, they send out the email like a month and a half to where you're almost like, why are they sending me this so early? No, it needs to be that because 3 weeks before, everything is done. It's done. There ain't nothing to get. So unless you want to have a walk in the park and a picnic on a beach, if you want to get to an establishment, you better plan ahead. So this year I learned, last year I lost.
Okay.
Hey, took no chances this year because last year didn't do a great job. So I got a nice boat ride. They got little dove boats on the lake. So for sunset, we got the dove boat and it's gonna light up and it's gonna be real nice.
Now, see me, we've gotten to a point left. Look, April will be our 25th wedding anniversary. And we've been dating a total of 33 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So what's that? Y'all dated for 7 years?
8 years.
8 years?
High school. Oh, yeah. High school. We both graduated and then we got married. So, yeah, we dated for 8 years. Be married for 25, April 24th. And right now we both look at each other like, you straight? Yeah, I'm straight.
Do I
and neither one of us is trying to apply pressure for Valentine's Day. It's like,
okay, that's fair though. That's fair because y'all on the same page.
Hey man, we have a 25th anniversary coming up. Like,
that's big though. That's what you put together stuff for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a trip coming up in March for important business, and then the next month we're celebrating my birthday and the 25th year anniversary. So Valentine's Day
y'all
for
gonna
us.
Be busy. Y'all gonna be busy. What you saying?
Valentine's Day for us is like sitting around watching some movies or watching a series with some really good popcorn, bro. That's about it. That's about it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So today we're gonna do something called Hate It or Love It. Hate It or Love It. Because it's Valentine's Day and it's going to have a spring practice twist. Spring practice is literally right around the corner. Right around the corner. Basically 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. It is absolutely, in my opinion, we got the schedule. And the first practice is March 7th, left. It's March 7th. And
March 7th is pro day?
No, March 7th is the first practice.
Oh, that's right. Oh, pro day is like the day before, right? Or 2 days before, something like that.
Let me check because I think pro day is the date after. It's March 21st. Pro day is March 21st, and it will be exclusively on Peacock. Which is actually
they got Peacock. Wait a minute.
The Notre Dame Pro Day will be on Peacock for all Notre Dame fans.
For real?
Hey boy, let me tell you something.
Oh shoot!
That Notre Dame media they're really stepping it up to
That's
expose
actually
the
pretty
program.
cool.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
It's like, because Mike Mayock and NFL Network will be there usually.
Yeah, and this will be, in my opinion, if you needed a class of seniors to like come to a pro day to watch, it's a pretty good class, right? Because people are still going to want to see Sam Hartman throw. So that will be an attraction.
Yeah, people want to see. We have a perfect. Who can I pick up to use special teams? Maybe a rotational guy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody I can count on a 53-man roster, a roster guy. That's what this year's class is filled of. Yeah, you got a couple, guys that can play, get in the rotation. But more than anything, you got guys that are those 6th-round undrafted guys that are playing late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like, all the first, second rounders got hurt, or those guys that maybe not had the value of being a first, second rounder, but are in the game.
Mm-hmm.
These are in the game guys that you're like, oh, I remember Maris. Maris is gonna pop up again like Alohi Gilman. Alohi Gilman is a starter, but it just shows that this is it may not be the main attraction, but it's the attraction. It's like when you go to what else? Rolling Loud. They got the main stage, and then they got the other stages. Now you got the other stages that got good artists. It's just not the main stage. So we're gonna bring some people in for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Lucky podcast. So that is first spring practice, March 7th, and then the second one I believe is the 20th. Well, the second one that the media will be at is the 20th, and then the pro day is going to be on the 21st. And it's exclusively streaming live on Peacock, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Lucky podcast. It's a change up. And something else. I was shocked because I estimated that the pro day would be the weekend of the 20th, 21st. I actually estimated that. Based upon what we had seen now, we received the schedule and we saw that spring practice was starting earlier. I don't know if that's an exemption because of, I don't know if you get an exemption because of certain coaching changes, especially in strength and conditioning somehow, or if that is Marcus Freeman learning how the schedule needs to go. Right? Is he starting
it's just a little tweak. It's just a little tweaks.
Right. Starting earlier because maybe he learned he probably should have started earlier with the transition that Sam Hartman needed.
Right. So
now he gets Riley Leonard and he says, you know what? Let's start a little bit earlier.
Let's try to help him out a little early.
Help him out. Get him. Absolutely. That's how I looked into it. That was the first thing I noticed when I got the schedule, and I'm like, oh, snap. Like, this is like 2 weeks earlier than the previous 2 springs. I'm like, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe you learned the lesson.
Do we end earlier too?
Say it again.
Do we end spring game earlier or spring practice earlier? Because the greatest the month, April 19th through the 21st. Or through the 26th is a good day. So are we going to extend it to that far?
I mean, the spring game is on the 20th, and the last practice that we have access to is on the 11th. That will be practice number 11. So it ends. I think they spread it out more, Left.
Okay.
And that might be something that, in speaking with more Orlando as well, instead of having practices more compact, because they had a lot of injuries last year in the spring, Left. A lot of soft tissue injuries, if you remember.
Yeah, I do.
A lot of missed time in the spring. Thomas Harper, Ben Minich, especially in the secondary. So maybe, as I said before, they're learning and they're coming up with a schedule to not only help guys recover and stay healthy and to get through the spring and actually get something from spring practice. And maybe it also has something to do with Riley Leonard, the transition, what they learned from Sam Hartman to try and help him out. And they have a lot of transfers coming in as well on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So it's a lot that could be going into this. But that's one thing that really jumped out to me when the schedule came out.
Offensive focus spring ball, though.
Mm-hmm.
Where we really find out a lot of tough answers early on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I plus think Denver getting a head start on putting his stuff in and seeing what works and what doesn't work, I think is always a benefit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lucky Lefty podcast, home of the misguided passion, forever dedicated to making sure that we spin it different. Left, my piece is up over at Irish Breakdown. I did a piece. We spoke with Deuce Knight, exclusive part 1 of our interview with Deuce Knight. 2025 Notre Dame quarterback commit is over at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Audio, video dropped. So one of the things that stood out coming on the heels of 2025 Notre Dame wide receiver commit, Elijah Burris, son of Plaxico Burris. His mom was also a Big Ten sprinter at Penn State. A lot of people felt like, yeah, we watched this film. And when we watched it, we expected a big body receiver along the lines of his dad. And what we got was a young man as a sophomore that could run the full route tree and was doing things at a level that I was like, oh, okay. If I'm a coach, I see why I'm drawn to this dude. As a fan, I look at the rankings, he's unranked. Well, he's unranked because he was coming off of an injury as a freshman that didn't allow him to go to camps, didn't allow him to really properly prepare. And so his production, he averaged 16 yards per catch on 29 receptions. And that was coming off his sophomore year, I'm sorry. And so now,
yeah, I mean, junior, you're getting an Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's what I look at it as.
Good call.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's got a lot of the things that you would want from a top receiver, but he may not have the EQ measurables, but he's a football player. And when you get enough football players in the locker room, those traits start to stand out, where Amon-Ra's best ability, in my opinion, is his toughness. He's got a knack for it, as opposed to, his brother.
Totally different body type, though.
Totally different body type. Small, compact, inside slot, catch tough catches, possession guy. May not be the speed receiver, but he's a tough route runner.
Right. Would you, as a quarterback, Left, let me ask you this question. Would you, and I can only use this because who would you rather throw to or work with on a third down against top competition? Defensive backs that are going to play you man to man. Someone that can run the entire route tree like an Elijah Burris, or someone who is bigger and physical like a Rico Flores?
I definitely wanted Elijah Burris.
I think we lost you a little bit, Left.
Oh, yeah, Rico may have been a playmaker, but when the chips are down, it's 3rd and 8. I wouldn't think he would be our best man receiver, as opposed to Burris, where it's like, okay, I know his best thing is to be a route technician. So to have that in situations, I think that's better, as opposed to a guy with a lot of raw talent. I love Burris because of his route technician and the fact that he's around the right stuff. Sometimes it's the better option to take the guy that's more familiar than the guy that doesn't know how far he can go.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting question because Rico, a lot of people looked at Rico as, one of these guys that, had an opportunity to really take a step forward. Not getting into the opportunities he got. I feel like I would never disrespect him. I was one of the guys that saw him in the spring and said he's going to get early playing time. That's just the way I felt by watching him play. So I think he earned, the opportunity, and he did pretty good as a true freshman.
Yeah, he made his plays. He definitely made his plays.
But the reason I asked that from the position of a quarterback is, in tough games and big games where you're going to basically be facing defensive backs more than likely, they're going to try and bump and run and play tight coverage in key situations. Who would you rather depend on? Who would you be looking towards, right? I think it's evident. Brandon Ayuk and Jennings get more completions on third down than Deebo Samuel. But no one would say that they are more important than Deebo. The first people you mentioned, offensive weapons in San Francisco, Deebo, McCaffrey. But you look at the targets on third down, is Brandon Ayuk, who is a technician, a route runner, and Jennings, who's more of a bigger physical receiver.
So you really put yourself in that position of roles, which we, in my opinion, didn't have last year, because what we thought the roles would be, they just were never actualized. Like, we didn't see Tobias as the big downhill threat. The big play downfield threat receiver. We didn't use Chris Tyree well enough as that speedy slot guy down the seam. We didn't use we did use Rico the way I think he was recruited, but that's discounting all the other roles that guys, in my opinion, should have had on the team. But that goes back to what's the identity of the offense, which we had questions about coming into. And when we don't have identity, it's hard for guys to know their role on the team.
Yeah, I agree with that. So let's talk about wide receiver recruiting. Concern. Some people have concern. Like, man, the new offers, whether it's Sean Terry II, Lex Cyrus, Derek Meadows was someone Notre Dame was already on, had a relationship with. Taylor Taylor, from the Chicagoland area. Michael Terry out of Texas, who everybody is on. And, it's a long shot, but hey, you go in the ring and you swing and see what happens. Raiden Vines Bright from IMG. Donovan Olubade from IMG. Both of these kids will probably be getting up to Notre Dame. It's a lot of offers, right? And the linear trait that all of these guys have, whether it's with speed, quickness, or physicality, they are really good runners after the catch. And I think that's something that was identified by Mike Brown and the rest of the staff and Mike Denbrock. And let's just look at Mike Denbrock and what he had. Mike Denbrock had wide receivers, two of them that will be drafted in the first round. Malik Neighbors is a complete route tree runner. The Mike Denbrock offense at LSU was a full route tree. This is why Jaden Daniels has jumped Drake May in the eyes of a lot of people as they watch the LSU film, because they talked about the ability and the same thing you say about Kenny Minchie, Left, the natural ability that is not something given to every quarterback or that every quarterback has, to know how to feather throws at different levels. And Jaden Daniels was the most accurate deep ball passer in the country last year, which scouts love as well. So when you talk about that, you're talking about Mike Denbrock, his offense, full route tree, wanting wide receivers that run the full route tree. You can see why he's attracted, him and Mike Brown, to a young man that's already running the full route tree. Of course, he's raw. He can get better and more precise, but he has the ability to run the full route tree. And when you have that, man, I don't care if he's ranked, unranked. There's no question that he can't play Power 5 football. He had only two other offers from Duke and Cincinnati. Okay, that's not Michigan, Alabama, and Georgia. watch the film and you see a young man that can play Power 5 football and be effective.
Absolutely. He's a guy that you can play day one and he can get into a system because he's familiar with what's being asked. Whereas Rico Flores didn't look like he was familiar, but when you put him in the game, he's a gamer.
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, Rico Flores, very productive. I don't want to say he was productive. I'm not going to say very productive. He was productive as a young receiver, but he struggled to get off man to man. He didn't have that, he didn't have that Braden Lindsay that everybody talks about. He didn't have this, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, this is the fastest I've ever felt. So I'm always going to feel the most confident in my speed. More than anything, I feel most confident in kind of my release packages more so now than the past. I want press that plays to my advantage, and being able to be technical at the line, and then being able to use my speed. It's a huge advantage to myself. It's not something that I've had in my arsenal as much in the past, whether it be my legs or my arms, whatever the issue is, or whether it be just lack of overall technique.
Rico Flores didn't have that as a freshman. He didn't have
Rico Flores used to getting the ball handed off to him or throwing a bubble or some type of gadget play where, when you're fitting into a team and in a role, hey, you're going to have to stand on that line of scrimmage and win that one-on-one to run this route. And I think that's where Burris excels at, where Rico is still finding his place in. But from what we're asking, we need technicians. And especially as Mike Denbrock and Mike Brown, guys that are about developing the position and using it as an integral part of the offense, we got to have guys that are ready to go early, push guys that are in there that are older.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's one of the things when we talk about what Notre Dame is trying to do in the recruiting room, they don't have. Jordan Faison, we're talking about guys that are, Jaden Greathouse has a chance to become that guy. Jordan Faison.
I don't know if Jaden Greathouse is a route technician. I think he's more of a ball playing, tossing the ball in space, letting him do his thing because he's a big body. He's got good catch radius, but in terms of guys just having 2 feet of separation on guys in routes, I just don't think that's him. I think if you can have a body on him, maybe 2, and he can come down with it and make a play. But in terms of leaving guys in the dust with just clean feet and route technician, I don't think that's his specialty. I think they used Jordan Faison last year as that specialty.
So that's something that was needed, Left. Like Notre Dame didn't have a choice. They didn't. I love the ability. You can say what you want to about decisions that have been made, about in-game, all of that. This staff has no problem admitting where they messed up and what needs to change. And they don't wait. They react immediately. And that is something you have to love, man. You have to love. Whether you agree or not, you have to love the fact that they admit and they see, we didn't exactly have versatility within the room last year. We didn't. We didn't have versatility.
And I think having that versatility is helping guys like a Riley Leonard who may not be great with just having an A.J. Brown, Julio Jones type of receiver. Needs some gadget guys like Chris Mitchell. He needs some gadget guys like Burris. He needs versatile guys that can do different things to help him. Just because I don't think Riley Leonard can spread the ball all inches of the field. I think he's a very select thrower where he likes what he likes and he's good with certain things. And that's why you got to have a variety of receivers to fit that.
So as a quarterback, how does that help? How does getting these type of receivers, how does that help?
Well, those type of receivers gives you a bigger margin of error. It gives you a bigger a range to miss. When you got guys like Burris who can get 2 feet of separation on routes, okay, I can miss a little in front. I can hit him right on the button. But then you guys got guys like Jaden Greathouse. You got, your Deion Colesleys, where I can miss a little bit higher or a little bit away from the defense because of their range and versatility on the catch radius. So it's different types of things that are helpful. I know that if I got a bubble guy that I can just keep throwing it to, like Jordan Faison, that's going to turn these behind the line of scrimmage passes to 10 or 15 yards that add to my stats. So those become favorable targets and completions that you really want to get after when you're in those positions. If you were just stuck with a Kevin Austin all day, it's going to be a long day for Riley Leonard throwing the ball downfield if that's our number one receiver. So you got to have a nice mix of different styles to just be comfortable and being efficient with your quarterback, who, in my opinion, his passing skills aren't necessarily going to take full advantage of this receiver room. I think you're on mute.
My fault. So some people worry about Notre Dame going after ranked guys. Highly ranked. Cam Williams was a highly ranked kid. Cornell Tate was a highly ranked kid. Taylor is a highly ranked kid. Garrett Meadows is climbing. Will probably end up being a top 75 kid. So this whole, you can go after big top ranked kids and still find really good players. They can end up like Will Fuller, that are unranked or 3 stars. Like the story of Joe Burrow and his 2 top receivers being unranked or either 3 stars when they got to LSU. Like I would rather have a coaching staff that's good at evaluation and development than just depending on getting top ranked guys in and then they're bust or they don't fit your system or you don't know how to develop.
I think a lot of programs want to model that success Utah has. Utah doesn't get 5 stars every year. They might get a 5-star alignment or something, but skill player wise, they're developing guys. That legendary J guy, the running back that went from quarterback to running back, was a huge impact. They got great development when all 5 of their quarterbacks played last season and they all did solid.
Yeah. So, and then you have guys like Lex Cyrus that is ranked. Look, if they get Lex Cyrus in this class, I don't care who. Lex Cyrus is a film, just film. His film is 4.5, 5-star. He's not, the measurables aren't 5-star. The measurables aren't going to make you say day 1 NFL draft. But playmaking, yeah, give me that kid. Give me that kid immediately in my class. Without question. Give him to me immediately, and I know he's going to make plays, and he can run the full route tree. Give me that, right? Rather than the guy that looks the part, you get him on campus, and then, he struggles to get off bump and run coverage. That's the one thing Notre Dame has.
That's a bad evaluation of talent, though. If you can't identify a guy that can't get off the ball, that's bad evaluation.
Right? Because how many top receivers in high school actually face consistent bump and run?
Yeah, you got to really dig in your bag, because you're not going to find it from the standard recruiting tape consistently enough to be like, oh, he can get off the ball. So there's things where you got to have a full recruitment. You got to see him in person. You got to see him in workouts. Yeah, you evaluate the film from a gamer's perspective, but you got to know the total makeup of a kid and what he's focused on and getting better as a football player. If he's not focused on the little things, which I believe these legacy type of players are focused on, the Ike Taylor's sons and Ryan Clark's sons and Plexico Burr's sons, who I know without even talking to them, their dad is telling them about the details. Their dad is telling them about the things outside of just being fast and just catching the ball at the high point, things that he can be really relational with Mike Brown and helping the group learn as well. Maybe there's some things he's going into school that he learns well in terms of getting off the ball. So I know that having kids that have legacy is a greater starting point than kids with just the raw talent that are 4 or 5 stars.
Man, I agree with you, man. And I think Notre Dame's going to have to fight for Taylor. They're going to have to fight for Taylor. Michigan losing, some of the guys is going to be an impact. Alabama wants the kid. I think Georgia is eventually going to come after the kid. Miami is definitely coming after the kid. And don't think that Miami getting Chicago kids in the 24 class, don't think that it's not going to be a factor. It's going to be a factor. For whatever reason, they're vibing right now in the Chicagoland area. Michigan has been vibing. Ohio State always finds a way to get kids. Matter of fact, the young man that scored the touchdown against Alabama for Michigan in the semifinals was from Nazareth here in Chicago. So, yo, they're going to have to fight for Taylor. Do they want to stay in that fight? That's going to be the question. Like, if they can get Alex Cyrus, who's going to be another fight. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Yo, you see the wide receivers that Penn State has put into the NFL? Yo, that's attractive to a kid from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Local kid, probably has relationships with the coaching staff there at Penn State. It's going to be tough. But, yo, fight. Because Notre Dame can't point to, yo, we got 2 first-rounders going in the NFL draft this year. They can't do what LSU can do. They can't point to Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. They can't. They don't have that pedigree. That's something they can do with offensive line, something they can do with tight end and other positions. Heck, they can do it with linebacker. Drew Tranquil was just one of the most valuable players due to injury in his play during the playoff run for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, he became one of the more valuable players in the league. I mean, on the team.
Absolutely. So that's another position. When you talk about Manti, Jalen, even though Jalen was injured, yo, Jalen was a top 10 pick, top 5 pick before his injury in the bowl game. So
yeah, Jalen definitely was a top 10 pick. He just got hurt.
And the problem has not been, because we've seen several guys, or we've seen guys recruited by Notre Dame go to other places, like a Jalen Guyton that you're familiar with, Left.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Jalen Guyton, who's still on the Chargers, like, and he spent
Absolutely
30 seconds at Notre Dame, like less than a cup of coffee, more like a sip of water from the water fountain, and went to North Texas and blew up, man. And so shout out to the recruitment of Notre Dame during that time, who a lot of guys fell under the radar, but end up being pretty successful in their next career.
Yeah, you get him. And you talk about the other kid that was at Notre Dame, transferred to Tulane. He blew up at Tulane. So when it comes to wide receiver recruiting, Notre Dame has recruited historically over the last decade. Notre Dame has recruited talented wide receivers.
Yeah,
development, man. Where's the
Miles
development?
Boykin came in as a tight end.
Well, he played tight end and linebacker. Niles was here at Creek.
But he's a 4-3 receiver now.
You said Niles Morgan? Who did you say?
No. Now Miles Boykin.
Miles Boykin. I'm sorry, I misheard.
Came in as a tight end. And over the development of Mike Denbrock, shout out Mike Denbrock, he became a draftable receiver that ran a 4.4 at the combine. Him, EQ, and Chase.
Yeah, you're right. And that is something to just really think about. Like when you really question, like, what's going on here, right? As some Notre Dame fans have. And they say, yo, where are the big time guys? Derek Meadows, once again, it's a big time guy. Taylor, it's a big name. Notre Dame is going after big names. Yo, Deuce Knight told us he's still talking to Jamie French. Every week he's talking to Jamie French and talking to other guys. It's like sometimes guys just don't want to come, especially kids from the South. They don't want to come to South Bend for whatever reason. It is what it is. But Notre Dame is never going to be like Ohio State recruiting 5 of the top 100 receivers. They can't. Not until they get some pedigree. They can't. They just can't. Maybe when the wide receiver pedigree at Notre Dame increases, maybe they can take some shots. Maybe they can go after 3, 4 of the top 100 receivers. Until then, go after a couple, get the ones that you know you have a better chance at, and then develop your butt off. Coach and develop your butt off. And definitely make the pedigree at the wide receiver position better. And that's lock and step with what they've already done in the quarterback room. They've already improved the quarterback room. Now, go ahead and improve that wide receiver room. And then you start to expand the recruiting at the wide receiver position as far as big-time talents and rankings and things of that nature.
Well, it's definitely coming up at the same time. You know, I think that was really good, Marcus Freeman, to not just go one at a time. He's getting everybody at the same time. So it's not just the quarterbacks getting better. He's putting an overload on the receivers. He's putting an overload on the replacements that we needed. So this is a Marcus Freeman who's appearing to me as a guy that's all in. He's like, I hear the comments. I see what's wrong with the team, and we're not just gonna let it pass by in the offseason.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. Left, you already talked about your plans for Valentine's Day, bro. And you know, we as I said before, you know, if you're trying to, you know, get in the place to be, might be a little bit late for you. Trying to get a reservation today.
Might be a little late.
Yeah,
you might have Applebee's.
You might have to Netflix and chill, bro. Look. What is the best way to celebrate Valentine's Day? The best way to celebrate Valentine's Day. You know what I did this morning, Left, as the missus woke up and got ready to walk out the door?
Oh, yeah.
I had already preset a delivery because she likes, she's not really a roses. She likes the Cata lilies.
Cata lilies, okay.
She likes the Cata lilies, right? And I had already set up for those to be delivered. And then I had her favorite Starbucks order ready to go.
What's her Starbucks order? That's the hot chocolate like you like, right?
No, she is a caramel macchiato.
Oh.
A grande caramel macchiato, 2 pumps of hazelnut, soy milk with a dip of honey.
Okay, she got one of them orders.
Yeah. But I know about heart now. It has to be soy milk, though. Has to be soy milk. I always have to stress it. Like, dude, soy milk. Do not give her anything other than soy.
She one of those, you got to have so many directions that she can taste if it's not in there.
Oh, as soon as she tastes it, she's like, this is not soy milk.
Like, this ain't.
Yeah, but, you know, other milks really mess with her system.
That's right.
Yeah, really mess with her system. So, for her, it is it's a special order. But I want to show you something for me that is one of the funniest videos that I saw on this Valentine's Day. And it goes to the love that we might have, or the love that our pets might have on a Valentine's Day. Check this out.
This pup had the funniest reaction when he listened to the voicemail left by his doggy daycare.
I wanted to give you a quick update. Kai is a big humper. He's overstimulated, literally humping everyone. And a lot of the dogs did not like it. He is social, but he's more concerned about humping everybody.
My man Kai was going to doggy daycare humping everybody, dude. Wait a minute. Yo, that's priceless and that's funny, but look, first of all, the video makes me miss. I had a Rottweiler and I actually gave him away. It made me miss my Rott. I almost wanted to go get another one, but then
you had a Rottweiler growing up?
Yeah. My wife bought me a Rottweiler, one for my birthday one year. Yeah.
Oh hell! So
that's my.
What do you think about big dogs? What do you think about big dogs?
I'm a big dog. I can't stand smaller dogs. Big dogs are my thing.
Me neither. I don't like smaller dogs. I like, you know.
Yeah, I'm a big dog guy. I grew up with big dogs. My first dog was a German Shepherd.
So you like all that shedding? No, I don't like all that shedding. That's the only thing.
Well, you know, I was a kid.
The German Shepherds were shedding.
Yeah, I was a kid. My parents were the one cleaning up. I was like, 8 years old, bro. I wasn't cleaning
Your
up
parents
after
ain't
the
hit you
dog.
with the, oh, that's your responsibility. You gotta walk the
No,
dog, clean up.
no, heck no. And then our dog actually got poisoned by the next door neighbor. True story.
Swear to God, poisoned? You
Yeah,
was
because
beefing with your neighbor like that?
he didn't know. No, it was a neighbor like 2 doors down, and he was an older gentleman, and he didn't know. He just saw a dog in his garden, and he was like, he put some poison down, to keep the dog out of the garden. And our dog went over there another time, and that's where we found him.
He didn't even get a chance to leave.
No. It was and then after that, my mom got a poodle.
And it's downhill from there.
we couldn't stand that dog. True story, bro. So my little brother is 5 years younger than me, bro. So my little brother was trying to impress my mom and give the dog a bath. My mom's poodle. And so before he went to school, my little brother literally put my mom's dog in the washing machine and closed
in the washing machine.
But he could not reach the knobs, thank God, to turn it on. He literally thought he was giving my mom's dog a bath. So my mom,
the lazy way, the boy way, we're gonna find the easiest way to get it done.
So as my mom tells the story, she's at home and she keeps hearing this whimpering. And she's like, yo, where's this whimpering come from? And it never dawned on her, like, where's Princess? Because Princess, that was the name, her dog's name, would just go to the corner and just be quiet until she came out to eat. And she just kept hearing the whimpering. And finally, she opened the washing machine and saw her dog in there and was like, oh, my God. And so all of us got questioned when we got home. And my little brother was like,
I got interrogated.
And my little brother, shout to him at that time. I think my little brother might have been 7. He copped to it. He was like, I was trying to give her a bath. And I just, my mom was heated, but I was like, yo, that's funny. That's absolutely funny. So that's my Valentine's Day story, man. Shout out to Kai. Kai, understand, man. You were just trying to show love at the doggy daycare to the other dogs and the ladies in the building. Man, I'm a big dog guy. Lucky Lefty podcast. Left, when we come back, let's get into hate it or love it. Spring practice style. Right here, Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know we will always continue
to spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag, because if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Yeah, my daughter, she loves labs. I refuse to get one because of what you were talking about, love, with the shedding and everything. But labs are great family dogs. Labs are great.
The golden doodle. You got to get the golden doodle. That's the family dog right there, because they smart and they brown poodles, golden doodles. But the thing about the shedding, though, it's just because everybody's got their own thing. Some people like to sleep with the dog. Some people like to keep the dog in the house. But it never made sense to me that the people that get the big dogs, the big crazy pit bulls and all that, after they get to a certain age, they don't even be taken care of. They just keep them in the backyard.
Yo, you know who has a dope pit? Man, gray with the blue, man, these just ocean blue eyes. Julio, Notre Dame's barber. Julio Cuts.
Oh, he got dogs?
Man, that dude has a couple of mini pits. Bro, gorgeous. Gorgeous dogs, man. Gorgeous dogs. Absolutely. Gorgeous dogs. People are falling in love with these mini pits and then these French bulldogs, bro.
Bulldogs, yeah, I see.
Yeah, like I said, man, my wife, she had a Pomeranian.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, she had a Pomeranian, and he was a pretty good dog. He was
They
pretty
all
decent for
yap
a small dog.
dogs. They all yap, 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 yap.
No, she called his name was Sugar. So Sugar really didn't yap that much, bro. He was a pretty good dog. He really was. And the thing about Sugar played himself because my daughter was born. We had Sugar for 3 years, and then my daughter was born. And one day, my wife put baby girl down on the floor to play, and Sugar growled at her, and that was it for him, dog.
Yeah, that was it. That was it right there.
His days were numbered. He had to go. It was a wrap. And I advocated for Sugar, man, because he was a really good dog. I advocated for Sugar. I was like, man, maybe it was just one time. And my wife is like, nope.
Nope.
Not playing that.
And it's a sanitary thing. I don't be liking all that dog stuff with the babies around. You know, like let them get a little older. Just because, you know, dogs is dogs. You know what I'm saying? They animals. They ain't no people.
So dogs are dogs. Left, you small dogs are in the same category as Canadian
receivers and quarterbacks. Yeah, that's probably where small dogs come from, is Canada. Hell,
man, Left. But Sean Sevillano, you good with him, right? You good with him?
Yeah, we good with his mindset. Now we gotta see him play now, but we good with his mindset. I like where he's coming.
Hey, he says he's coming for somebody's spot. He's like Luda. He's coming for that #1 spot. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, Left, what are your thoughts before we get into Hate It or Love It? What are your thoughts on what we're seeing transpire with the $1.6 billion deal that the college football playoff has signed with ESPN? Do you feel like with the expansion they should have brought in more networks, or are you cool with the exclusive rights staying with ESPN?
Well, I think that was ESPN's big play in collaboration with joining up with those other streaming services. They want to play monopoly when it comes to college football. CBS is a big proponent of Big Ten. So the TV deals are shifting college football dynamics, and I think Notre Dame is smart by staying on the outside looking in as being on those independent streaming services and putting more content on there outside of the games. I think eventually these teams that sign these big deals are going to start to try to have a lot of similar side shows like Notre Dame is building with Peacock and the NBC network. Because eventually you got to think these everybody sees the number on that TV contract. So these players are going to start thinking brands, and these players are going to start thinking exposure, and these schools are going to try to tie in that take advantage of it. And I think Notre Dame's on the cusp of it. Us having these TV shows around the football team and including athletics, I think it's all encompassing of what it's going to be. And that's a Notre Dame network exclusively, in partnership with NBC. It's just all Notre Dame all the time. Hell, they might even have us on there, man. Lucky Lefty on Peacock.
Hey, I'm all for. I don't know. See, I'm cool if they allow us to be who we are. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
Hell,
that.
Shannon Sharp is.
Hey,
Shannon Sharp can threaten people on the internet.
as long as I can be,
he can go to Laker games and fight the players.
As long as I can continue to be myself, I'm totally fine with being on Peacock as the Notre Dame podcast. I'm cool with that. I would love it. Absolutely love it. Lucky Lefty podcast. Well, Left, let's get to it. Valentine's Day edition. Hate it or love it. Hate it or love it, Valentine's Day style, right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast. So what we're going to do, you guys are more than welcome to join in the chat. But Left, I'm going to give you a topic based upon spring practice, and you tell me whether you hate it or love it.
All right.
Pretty simple. Riley Leonard is the clear-cut starting quarterback for Notre Dame in spring practice. No competition needed. Hate it or love it?
I love it because he's a one-year guy that we paying money to, so we want to get the most out of it. And I think the other guys are young enough to not affect their future career at Notre Dame. But then also, a lot is banking on Riley's success and being that that step that we need to take in order to get to where we want to be. So I love it from the standpoint that if we're serious about it, we can maximize the $2 million that we spent on this.
All right. Hate it or love it. Spring practice edition right here. Lucky Lefty Podcast. It has been the mode of Dylan McCullough, even when he had Aldrich Estime, to have a running back by committee. Aldrich was the bell cow, however, had an incredible season. His last carry at Notre Dame, touchdown against Stanford. But with Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love coming into the spring practice, 1A and 1B, according to Marcus Freeman, are you hating it? Are you loving Dylan McCullough continuing the trend of running back by committee?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I love it because he's not wasting guys' time. But that's been the foundation of our offense. So Dylan McCullough running the rock. Hopefully we get to see the hot hand appear when it's needed, not just sticking to the same thing just because that's what we want to do.
All right, hate it or love it. If he does not win the quarterback competition in the spring, Steve Angeli should look to transfer from Notre Dame. Hate it or love it.
Well, Steve should have been looking regardless. I mean, he just bringing in Riley, I would have been on beat to leave. So I don't know. I hate it.
Man, maybe at this point you might be right, Left. Maybe at this point, just stick around. Don't do what Tyler Buckner did and play yourself. But
yeah, you just play yourself at the end, I guess.
But the tape he put on for people during the regular season in a small way, and then in the Sun Bowl as a starter, there might be another school out there that's really ready to go ahead and give him the opportunity that he wants.
I mean, hell, he can go home and play at Rutgers.
He could go home and probably start at Rutgers. You're right. Yeah, Left. I totally agree with you.
So, I think that's the allure you get when you're at Notre Dame. You feel like it's going to work out. I just need to wait my time. But sometimes the time may not be there for you. So I wouldn't be mad at Steve if he decided to leave. I think, it'll be the best for him. Because clearly Marcus Freeman ain't thinking Steve is the best for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Steve at all. I wouldn't be mad at Steve at all if he decided to leave. I'd
be mad at Kenny. I'd be peed off at Kenny.
Would you?
Yeah, I'm like, Kenny, what you leaving for?
Did you feel that way when Tyler left? Like, bro.
Yeah, it was like you're in the catbird position. Well, with Tyler leaving, I thought it was right only because I'm like, man, if they think Sam better than you, then it's a wrap. You might as well just you might as well go ahead and help yourself because we knew what Sam was before he got there.
Yeah, we did.
So it's like, damn, we had to hope for Tyler to be better, but clearly the coaching staff said, no. The talent of Sam is better than what we're looking for, what we got. So.
Hate it or love it. Riley Mills and Howard Cross will continue to get better at the defensive tackle positions, elevating the front seven for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? Hate it or love it?
Riley Mills is a classic piece to this Notre Dame team. I think he's established himself well enough to be an impact and an exciting force coming back for the team. So I love it. And then Howard Cross, who popped on the scene throughout the year. Hopefully, both of these guys coming back can wake up that sack production with Al Washington and turn this thing around to what we know it can be.
Hate it or love it, Notre Dame will have a player on the defensive front collect 10 sacks.
I hate it. I ain't convinced that fast now.
Oh man, you said that pretty fast, love.
One player?
Yeah.
No.
It's not happening.
No. Because if it was going to happen, it should have happened last year.
You have oh ye of little faith.
As an interior guy?
I said on the entire line. I didn't just say interior guys.
Oh, okay. The Duke transfer, I would expect to have 10.
Okay.
I think he looks like he can get him 10.
RJ Oden, speaking of.
I would like.
I want to hear Riley Leonard asked about RJ Oben to see if Riley Leonard gives a better answer on the gifts and talents of one RJ Oben and what he brings. I just want to see the flip side of that.
Yeah.
What's going to make RJ Oben a dominant defensive end for Notre Dame that fans might not know?
And I doubt Riley's going to talk about Jesus. I doubt that.
Hate it or love it, left. Marcus Freeman finally has the staff that he always wanted at Notre Dame.
Hate it because he's missing me, but love it because I feel like he can win with this staff.
What makes you feel that way?
He just needs to put me in the GM position, me and Chad Bowen, so we can get some of the right players. But other than that, I think he feels more comfortable that he's in control this year as opposed to last year. I think he had a couple too many strings tied to his back.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Jack being gone, Pete Bravacqua being the guy that he's working with, and I think that he really feels like, okay, now I'm Marcus Freeman of Notre Dame. I'm not just the intern head coach that y'all showing love to, and then y'all gonna look for somebody else. I think he feels at home now, and that's gonna translate in him coaching better. You know, he's gonna feel more comfortable.
Hate it or love it, Jaden Mickey, Christian Gray. Who do you hate winning the starting job opposite of Benjamin Morrison, and who do you love?
Carson Hobbs. Maybe he go in there and, shout out to Ohio, man. He go in there and shake it up. But I like Christian Gray, honestly. Christian Gray is my guy. I think he's the next in line with Ben Morrison. You said between Christian Gray and Jaden Mickey?
Yeah.
I think Jaden Mickey loses in this because I just think Christian Gray's just a bigger talent. He's the bigger talent. But Jaden Mickey will find his role on the defense, though.
Which linebacker do you hate? Not hate. Hate it or love it. This is really just a love it. Which young linebacker are you loving to take a step forward, a major step forward?
Jaden Osbury. I would want to see Jaden Osbury really go in there and establish himself as one of those mean linebackers. Like, okay, we're losing Jalen Sneed and we lost Nolan Ziegler. But for Jaden Osbury, I think his role definement will happen this spring. And he's going to get a lot of opportunity to hold down that middle for Marcus Freeman.
All right. Hate it or love it? Are you keeping Charles Jagusah as the starting left tackle going into the spring and the fall? Are you hating it or loving it?
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
It's that simple.
Don't make it hard now.
I feel you. Right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast. It's Valentine's Day, so we're doing our spring practice edition hate it or love it. Practice starts March the 7th. That's the first spring practice. We talked about the change and Marcus Freeman doing some different things and starting earlier. Instead of the schedule being as compact as it was in the first 2 seasons. Maybe he's figured something out going to his 3rd season. I'm going to play this clip. You'll remember this, Left, before I get to the next hate it or love it question.
People don't talk about my speed enough. I feel like they think I'm like a 4.4 guy, but I'm much faster than that, and they'll know soon.
Hey, clip of the year for me. Are you hating or loving what Chris Mitchell was saying about people don't know, but I'm about to show you what my speed is all about?
I love it because I thought I knew, but clearly, clearly he got something that nobody know. But I love the fact that it's faster than what I thought. Because hell, I thought what I thought was really good. So I love the fact that he's coming in with something to prove. It's different than hearing some of these guys coming in being so grateful for this lateral quote unquote move they're making. Chris Mitchell's like, no, I'm coming like Sean Sevillano to take spots, show y'all I'm really fast. I'm like that, and we're gonna have a good time trying to get there.
Bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I disrespected the kid. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Man, take it out on them Texas A&M players, man.
I mean, my man said, yo, y'all disrespecting me, telling me that I'm 4'4". I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I mean, we don't really get that consistently at Notre Dame. So 4'4" would actually be cool with us. Like, we
thought we was boosting you.
Yeah, we're good with that. But obviously, he's like, yo, I got more in the tank. I got more in the tank. Notre Dame broke offensive records in 2023 with Mike Denbrock as a new offensive coordinator. They will surpass the records that they broke in the 2023 season in 2024, led by Mike Denbrock as the offensive coordinator. Hate it or love it.
What record?
Scoring record, yardage record. They broke a lot of offensive records, dude.
We ain't break no passing records. So that's what I expect Mike Denbrock to break.
Notre Dame will have a 4,000-yard passer in the next 3 seasons. Hate it or love it.
3 seasons, absolutely love it.
I just made that one up based upon what you said. So somebody's going to throw for 4,000.
Somebody in this room.
Somebody in this quarterback room is going to throw for 4,000 in the next 3 seasons.
Before we never had the talent to do it. I think CJ can mess around and throw for 4,000. I think Kenny Minchie can mess around and throw 4,000. Hey, Deuce Knight might be on the lighter end, but Deuce Knight going to give us some yards in other places too.
If I'm not mistaken, Jack threw for 36.
Ooh! And Jack Cohn is the lead horse right now in the last 5-6 years. Ain't nobody had him yet.
Huh?
And that was on borrowed time. Because the brother was splitting time with Tyler Buckner.
Yeah. Notre Dame's defense lost leadership. Talent, but youth is going to be the dish served this season. Will the Notre Dame defense take a step forward in year 3 under Al Golden, or will they take a step back? Hate it or love it?
Love it, them taking a step forward. Because at the end of the day, he's going to be in the right position to make everything happen.
Okay. Like Chris Mitchell will be the leading wide receiver in 2024. Hate it or love it?
Chris Mitchell will be my bad.
The leading
Chris
receiver.
Chris Mitchell will not be the leading receiver, but Chris Mitchell will be the second best receiver, in my opinion.
I'm not mad at that. If he's the second best receiver and somebody's better than him, that's a pretty good receiving core, in my opinion. If you can bring in his production, he can be the second best receiver. And I'm assuming you're not saying you think Bo Collins is going to be the number one. Yeah, he's definitely D-Dub. He's definitely getting this snack on, multitasking. Probably running around, running errands as well. Hey, that's why this is going to be a truncated show. We're coming to the end right now. Lucky podcast. Because I myself have some things to do. Last one left. Hate it or love it. Notre Dame makes it to the semifinals for the college football playoffs. Hate it or love it. We might have lost left, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think in the chat? You hating or loving Notre Dame making it to the semifinals of the college football playoff this season? Hate it or love it? And Jason Smith says he loves it. Corey Dean says he loves it. Corey Dean says D-Dub says she loves it. Yeah, D-Rock Irish, that was widely expected the way the last two seasons went. Widely expected. Jay Henry says he loves it. William Chaney says depends on the matchup. Elizabeth Crook, safe travel. Enjoy your trip to South Africa. I'm jealous. I wish I could hop into your luggage, me and my wife, and go with you guys. But safe travel. Johnny S., you say you love it. Post game, hate it. We're going to the chip. Well, then that would mean you love it because they made it to the semifinal. We didn't say that was the end. We just said, do you love Notre Dame making it to the semifinal? Post game. So that means
definitely
you would be
love
loving
it. Love it. That's what, two? That's 3 games?
Semifinals are 2. Win the first 2.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Dang. Win the first 2.
Win the first 2 just to get to the semis. That's tough.
Damn.
They need to get that number 5.
A 4-game gauntlet is kind of a 4-game gauntlet is kind of tough without a first round bye. I think it'll be extremely tough for a team not to get a first round bye to win it all. So if we're not the 5th seed, winning 4 games straight gonna be interesting. I tell you that.
Yeah, you can believe that. That is going to be something else. Absolutely. And you have to get that 5th seed because if you get the 5th seed, more than likely you're playing the non-power 5 team that gets in. That 12th seed. And then you're going to end up playing the 4th seed in the quarterfinals, which is the lesser of the teams that make it into the top 4. And Notre Dame probably should be a better team. The only reason they're not in the top 4 is because of the contract that Notre Dame had to live by because they refused to go to a conference. So Notre Dame might have, if they're the 5th seed, they might have a team that's better than the top 3 of the top teams or 2 of the top teams in the top 4, depending on who they are. So Notre Dame could literally go into that quarterfinal matchup as the favorite.
Yeah, they definitely could.
Yeah,
they definitely could. So I think that Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman got that idea in their head already. I think we're more like the Chiefs where we're going to go over the overtime rules. We're going to go over the strategy of how to dive into the playoffs in those pre-coach meetings, those fall preseason meetings, how we want to attack this, what does it look like, how should we be ready for it. So with it being uncharted territory, I think that plays into the fact that Marcus Freeman does want to start a little earlier, get his feet under him a little bit on how to be able to really maneuver in this new area or this new Rubicon of college football. The playoff system is going to change how we look at a lot of things in this season.
Chris O'Leary leaves for the NFL to go be on the staff of the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, leaving a coaching position as the safeties coach. There are rumors out there, reports that Mike Mickens will be given full control of the safeties and the defensive backs. And then Max Bullock, who was a GA, pretty much had coached the linebackers last year, will be elevated. Are you hating or loving Mike Mickens coaching the entire secondary? If that happens.
Shoot, well, I'll be giving him credit where he doesn't really didn't all the way rightfully have it.
You're disrespectful.
Hey, Mike Mickens we trust, man. I think he stayed down for Marcus Freeman through the years. It's been really nice of him, and so I think it's pretty cool to see Mike Mickens flourish and not leave, because I know he's had ample opportunity and everything to be able to, take his next steps. But he obviously has something to prove. I think he wants to pump out Ben Morrison as that first rounder before he dips. But that's good because, he's been able to recruit a good amount of guys coming in that are going to do have the same type of effect on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that. That's the end of it, man. That was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We might have to do love it, hate it or love it a little bit more throughout the year with different topics and things. And maybe do it on the post-game show as well. Like, what did you hate? What did you love from each game? We'll work with it, Left. Pretty good segment, though. I think the chat was involved. They enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as well. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right, Left. Great show today, man. Hope everybody has a great, fantastic Valentine's Day. To you, your significant others, girlfriends, husband, wives. Man, just enjoy life. Enjoy this day. Enjoy each other. And hope the best is yet to come for your relationships, man. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, petty stories of the day brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. Left, I just don't understand fans, bro. And when I say that, I'm never upset to the point with disappointment that I ever feel like I have to do something to convey that others might feel like, it is what it is. But this right here, and it's a bunch of these things floating around, 49er fans, like, it's not that serious, man. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Bro, first of all, Left, can you tell me what old girl was like cleaning off the screen? Like, did she not understand that the TV was broke?
That man went crazy.
Did she not understand that? Why are you spraying the screen as if you're cleaning off what he just did? And the TV is going to be operable. It's like, that was the one thing that stood out. I mean, it's like, yo, you watch games with people that are cheering for the other team. Yo, I guess he lost some money. Like, dude, I'm not destroying my TV because I lost some money. Dude, between the 49ers players arguing back and forth with NFL players because they lost and they're bitter. And I saw another one where a guy was hosting it in his backyard out there in California and literally picked the TV up, threw it down, and him, his wife, and his kids stomped on the TV in front of all of their guests. For what?
What these TVs doing to people, man?
What are we doing, man? I guess since they feel like the price of TVs are going down, that they can just replace it. Like, it's no big deal. Hey, come on, man. Do better. Draymond Green.
My TV, fuck.
For nothing. For nothing.
For nothing, right? Like, no.
Nothing. Draymond Green, come on down, my man. Come on. Come on, man. Because, see, I hate cats that try to act like they're big and bad and they end up being super sensitive. Bro, all this extra stuff you're doing on your podcast talking about Kevin Durant, you begged Kevin Durant to come to Golden State. You asked for him. On top of that, Ramona Shelburne posted a story on ESPN yesterday that you just got through begging LeBron James to accept the trade to the Warriors last week.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is a two-time champion and a two-time Finals MVP on the same team with Steph Curry. The last time the Warriors won a championship in the Finals was Steph Curry literally picked the entire team up and put them on his back to beat the Celtics. You were trashed the entire series.
Yeah.
It got taken out of the game in Game 5. Trash. 4 and 5, matter of fact. You got the nerve to sit up here and try to denigrate Kevin Durant and what he's done in the NBA. Kevin Durant is a much better player than you'll ever be. And you're mad because he said after you smacked Yusuf Nurkic in the face and got suspended because Kevin Durant was honest and said, yo, maybe hopefully he can get the help he needs. You need help, bro. Look at what you've done. Look at what you continue to do. You need some help. You have anger issues, my man. And just because you can put one or two words together on a podcast, don't try to distract from the fact that what Kevin Durant said echoes the sentiments of a lot of people. Heck, I hope you get the help you need. Because it's painfully obvious that you're unwilling to admit when you've done something wrong. You've still yet to admit that you were wrong in the Jordan Poole situation. You've still yet to admit that you were wrong with the bench situation when you were playing with Kevin Durant. When have you ever admitted that you were wrong? When? You literally just said Yusuf Nurkic flopped. Is that the reason you smacked him? Is that the reason you went out of your way to flail and smack him in his face? Was it Yusuf Nurkic's fault that happened too? You're that type of dude.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, Draymond just gotta be, honestly. I think it'll take him getting cut. or get him traded or something, because he just thinks as long as he got Steph, he don't have to address anything because he's Steph's Dennis Rodman. As long as he can play behind that, because as a standalone, he should know he's wrong. He wouldn't survive in the league doing that anywhere else. He wouldn't. So he's gotten to a point where he's just going to keep going until something happens. But he definitely is the reason Kevin Durant was even on the Warriors.
Bro. I don't know, man. He's a bully. That's what he is. He's a bully. He's been a bully his entire life, and he can't deal with people telling him about himself. That's who he is. He can't. And this is what makes me furious about this situation. Left. He's coming at Kevin Durant when Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy, and Steve Kerr said the exact same thing Kevin Durant said. He needs to get help. And he hasn't said one word to them or about them. They said the exact same thing. But Kevin Durant says it. Now all of a sudden you want to go do a full podcast on why you're upset. You're a clown, man. You're a clown. You're a bully. Get over it. Get over yourself. Because you're really not that good. Because if you didn't play next to Steph and Clay for all those years, I'm not even sure we even know who you were. And I'm going to leave it at that. Have a great day. Most of all, make sure that you spin it different.